wish there was like a subject or a module on this in university or maybe college or high school. And it's the most important thing when it comes to it, when it comes to you being successful, and it's communication. It sounds so straightforward. You guys are probably thinking, are you just talking about hi, bye, and smiling at someone? It goes beyond just that. So communication is broken down into two main elements, verbal and non-verbal communication. Now, me as a dentist, when I'm sat with a patient, that is the most important thing I focus on. Way before I pick up my instruments, way before I'm able to even look inside the patient's mouth, because that's going to determine how confident that patient is in me, my skill set. Do they trust me? I don't force it. I don't fake it. I show who I am myself. I don't hide from who I am, my personality. If I'm a funny person, I'm going to show to you I'm a funny person. Of course, be professional. Don't be too laid back, because it's important that you show that you're a dentist, you're able to treat them appropriately, you're able to care for them. So you still need to have some element of professionalism, but it doesn't mean be a robot. And the one thing that I've tried to work on over the years is just getting better and better at communication. So let's break down verbal communication. So verbal meaning that these are elements of communication where you get to speak to someone. This is your chance of now showcasing it through words. When I have a patient sat on my dental chair, or as they enter the room, I smile at them. I'm like, how was your day? Did you manage to get here okay? Did you manage to park the car okay? Oh, where are you from? Are you local? Are you far out? What do you do for work? And just naturally, it begins to flow the conversation. And as, for example, I'm getting my gloves, getting my mask, the patient's starting to sit down, I'm walking in front of the patient, so of course I can then, discuss things with them. I'm having this conversation, I'm making them feel like, look, way before I talk to you about your teeth, let's just talk about you. Were you okay? Did you manage to get you okay? I don't force the patient into it. If I feel like the patient isn't feeling it, the patient doesn't want to talk too much, but I'll still talk to them, but I'll just base it on how they're feeling, because some people just don't want to talk like that. They just want to get to the point, do the consultation. They might be a bit shy, a bit scared, a bit nervous, and off they go. But I focus a lot on my words. For example, if I'm running late and I get the patient in a bit late, I'll try my best to say, thank you for waiting, I do appreciate that. I'm telling them, like, I appreciate the fact that you sat there patiently and waited for me, rather than me apologizing. I just feel like that method works out better. I'm telling them thank you. Like, I want to thank you for waiting for me, because that shows that hopefully I'm worth something, that you want to wait and see myself even if I'm running late. The patient will come in. I'll try to engage in good eye contact, which then brings me on to non-verbal communication. I'll use my hands quite frequently when I'm talking. Obviously, I don't start flapping around going crazy and scaring the hell out of them. But, when I'm talking about a dental crown, for example, is quite complex, quite difficult to understand. I mention this is the tooth, I mention this is the cap, and it fits like that. Sometimes I'll do this with my finger, saying that we're going to prepare the tooth. We might have to cut it down here. It's a bit deep. So there's verbal communication where I'm speaking softly, speaking clear, I'm maintaining good eye contact, which is non-verbal communication. I'm using my hands. I'll try my best. If the patient is sat down, I'll try my best to sit down with them. Obviously, not like next to them like that, but like in front of them, so I can have a conversation with someone. I don't lay the chair flat. They're looking up at the ceiling with glasses on, and I'm there just like blabbing on. They're looking, thinking, what on earth is going on? If you went into a barber shop, into a takeaway, into a restaurant, for you to eventually leave that place of business with a good experience, you want to know that you had a good conversation with the person behind the counter, with the waiter. They were able to explain to you what's on the menu. They listened to you carefully. They repeated your order back to you. They asked you if you were okay, if you needed anything else. That is what you want to leave with, a positive experience. Now, it's even more so with the patient on the dental chair, not when they're lying down with a bib around their neck, sunglasses on with their mouth wide open, you're there explaining all this type of stuff. Speak to them face to face, let them sit upright. If something gets a bit complex, sit them upright, let them have a bit of water, ask them frequently, are you doing okay? By doing so, the patient will thank you for it. The patient will look at you and think, you know what, you reassured me throughout this whole process. You made me feel really comfortable. You've made me now want to tell other people about this great experience, that now I want other people to come and see you and request you, nobody else. Why? Because it wasn't just about your clinical skill, which is very important. It was about everything leading up to that very point of you carrying out your dentistry, how you made them feel comfortable, that great experience. Not long ago, I went away for a weekend with family. We stayed in a hotel. And when I realized that that person behind the desk wasn't doing a great job, wasn't making eye contact with me, I didn't leave a bad review. I didn't say anything bad. I just thought, you know what, this just don't feel right. It just feels a bit like you're just here for the sake of it. And of course, work can become that, the stresses of the day, the tiredness, patients kicking off, whatever it may be, people kicking off, and the stress of your manager, of the owners, of whoever it is. But when you have someone that says, oh, hi, Asif, you alright? Oh, I just hope you have a lovely stay. Please let me know if you need anything. They're not being overly enthusiastic. They don't have to jump with joy and do star jumps. No, just by them saying those few things, straight away, I'll just look and I'll think, you know what? Suddenly I just feel like I want to stay maybe an extra night. Suddenly I feel like I want to let someone else know that service is great. Like, I just want to tell people that, oh, it's great service. No one's telling me to, no one's forcing me to, purely because of that element of interaction and communication. Communication is everywhere, with your parents, your kids, your family, your siblings, your place of worship, place of business, whatever it may be. Communication is the most important thing. Of course, practice your clinical dentistry and your clinical skill. But if you're not able to talk to someone and you're not able to break something so complex down into such a simple way with care and affection for the career and for the job and for what you want to do for that patient and give them this smile makeover, that patient will not trust you with that. They won't have confidence in you. And when it comes to you progressing into private dentistry and taking your career to a whole different level, you'll only stay where you are because of poor communication. And patients won't allow you to get to that level because they just don't trust that you're capable of delivering those type of results. But when someone comes across confident, compassionate, they calm the patient down when they're nervous, they make them feel at ease, they bring trust into this relationship, straight away that patient will say, do what you got to do. These are my teeth, treat them how you please, and I trust you every step of the way. That's before you've picked up anything to clinically carry out that dentistry. Why? Because you just smashed out the most important and the fundamental things of dentistry, which is communication. I'm sorry if I bored you guys to death. As long as you learn something from it and you're able to just crack on with it and make a difference to someone, make them happy, make yourself happy, then hopefully you've achieved something great.